Oh, hey, FD. What's up?
No, not much. I'm just reading up on some old Nick shows for my next video.
Okay. Let me guess. Is it a cartoon? Is it one of their live-action ventures?
Hey, come on, no spoilers. I'm not just gonna give away the topic of the video, even though it's in the thumbnail, so whoever clicked it probably knows what it is. But I did want to ask you something. That Dan Schneider guy, he's everywhere. Why?
Ugh, Dan Schneider? Really? That guy's a creep.
How?
Oh, come on, man. You use the internet regularly. Haven't you heard the stories? For Christ's sake. He asks for children's of pictures feed on Twitter. He's apparently a big-time asshole on set, and adding to that the power 90s nostalgia has over your generation. He has a crazy amount of control. FD, what are you doing?
What are you talking about?
Your feet.
Huh? Oh man. Hello everyone, I'm the Film Detective, and it's my job to dissect the best and worst of pop culture and give you my thoughts on the subject. Now, much like a lot of you watching, I grew up on Nickelodeon and their classic slate of kids' television growing up. Shows like SpongeBob SquarePants, Drake and Josh, Ren and Stimpy, iCarly, Angry Beavers, Pelswick. Oh, wait, no one cares about that last one.
Ugh. Dude, did you purposefully reference the deepest cut possible for some shameless internet hipster credit?
Of course I did. It's me we're talking about here.
And you had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Have I ever told you how obnoxious you are, or...?
Nick's catalog runs deep, and no matter the age range, there's a show out there everyone cherishes in some capacity. Yet there are some that nobody remembers, which is to be expected from a channel with such history. The X's, Cornel and Bernie, Wayside, and 3 Delivery are all shows I'd argue belong in that category. And then there's Nickelodeon's Black Sheep, a show everyone remembers but would much rather forget. A show so bizarre, so grotesque, that Nick has all but erased it from his history books. What I'm about to show you will shock you to your very core, make you sleep with the lights on and pray to the heavens every single night. Scar for life your precious children and your children's children.
Alright, Creeps McPasta, you can cool it with the hyperbole now.
I might have dragged it a little bit.
Yeah, really. And besides, I'm sure it isn't that bad anyway. Half of these videos about creepy shows are sensationalized to a fault. This one probably isn't much different.
Whoa. Now hold on just a minute there, Reg. Are you implying that I would willingly deceive the viewer with exaggeration and pandering just to keep them watching my videos?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, hey, listen here, buddy. I take great offense to that. I'm a guy of pride and honesty and virtue, and I would never, ever... you little motherfucker, you know me so well. Roll the clip.
All God's creatures, fresh off the grill. So come on down to Mr. Meaty, where friends meet to eat meat.
Mr. Meaty was a Canadian-American television show created by Jamie Shannon and Jason Hopley for CBC in Canada and Nickelodeon here in the States. It follows teens Josh Redgrove and Parker Dinkelman, employees of the titular fast food joint in the Scotchboro Mall, as they get into strange misadventures and navigate through puberty. It lasted for about 10 of its 20 episodes on the main Nickelodeon channel before it was moved to Nicktoons, where it lived out the rest of its fairly short run. All in all, if you read up on its history, it doesn't sound like it was that successful of a venture for Nick. But did it have to be that way? Why was it that way? Why did it fail?
Because kids are racist.
Wait, what?
Because they're racist. Unashamedly racist, FD. They're afraid of puppet representation in the media, but guess what? Times are changing, people. Diversity matters. It is the current year.
I mean, I guess. Yikes. That whole sequence was based on one long, terrible, unfunny boomer joke.
You gonna keep it in?
Of course, gotta fill in that runtime somehow. Today, I'm gonna break down the reasons why I feel Mr. Meaty failed, and my thoughts on the show as a whole. Now remember, whether you love or hate the show, I'm being pretty objective here, so don't take offense to anything I say either way. I'm just speaking the facts of the situation.
Where friends meet to eat meat.
First, let's address the main complaint that gets leveled against the show even today. Its sense of humor. A lot of critics complained Mr. Meaty was too gross and too immature, that it's not something they wanted their kids watching when there were so many better options out there. But was it really that huge of a deal? Well, let's talk about shock humor for a second. Comedies centered around unpleasant imagery, bodily functions, slapstick, and general indecency have been present in children's media since the theatrical cartoon shorts of the 20th century. But what many of those programs had were clever writing and or quality filmmaking to back up the little substance it carried. Does Mr. Meaty have any of that? Well, no, not really. The show does deal with the many issues and trials young people going through puberty face, but only on their most surface levels. Stuff like having your first kiss, hosting a party to up your status, failing your driver's test. But even relatable themes and storylines aren't enough if the imagery and comedy are so damn unpleasant. Now, before anyone goes in the comments and calls me a prude, no, I'm not opposed to or put off by lowbrow humor and ugly aesthetics in theory. Hell, even in practice. South Park, Xavier Renegade Angel, and the many, many films of Ralph Bakshi are things I hold in high regard even still. Well, then what is it those things have that Mr. Meaty doesn't?
Zero puppet representation?
Dude, are you still going with that bit? We dropped that forever ago.
No, this is not a bit. I'm serious. I really think it matters. Puppets are staples in children's entertainment, and they've been around forever, and kids are just gonna get rid of them? They don't want to watch them anymore? You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like racism. That is...
Well, to answer the question I just raised, they have substance. Something from their writing to take away and learn from. Even the former two's nasty imagery are more of a test than anything, hoping the viewer can subject themselves to it long enough that they can catch the message, or be in on the joke, whatever that may be. Well, yeah, I can already hear you saying it, Mr. Meaty's for kids. It's a little bit different. You can't hold it up to the same standards as South Park. But even still, that's not an excuse. If Captain Planet can talk about AIDS, the Tiny Toons can talk about underage drinking, and Rugrats can talk about death, multiple times, mind you, Mr. Meaty can explore adolescence with just a little bit more complexity than it does now. Reg, what the fuck?
I'm pooping.
Oh, okay, I get it. You're trying to prove my point to the audience that potty humor is lazy and unfunny on its own?
No, I've just been holding it in since we started filming.
Oh, okay.
Friends meet to eat meat.
Dude, what the hell?
Hey, calm down, would you? I'm not talking about me.
Well, it doesn't
Talking
matter
about
who you're talking
kids.
about with. It's just simply
no
not
child
true.
sits in
Puppets
front
are
of their
people.
TV
Puppets
anymore.
matter. Puppet lives
Watching
matter. The
Puppy,
fact you're just
watching the
talking
Muppets,
down like
watching
they're
Sesame
worthless, like
Street,
they're
it's
worth
done.
even...
It's a
Like,
dying
how could
art
you?
form.
How could
No
you
one cares about
honestly
it. Calm
even
down.
just do
Stop
that?
being
Like,
so
just
sensitive.
annoy...
Yeah, as an obvious fan of the medium, this one's actually pretty heartbreaking to have to acknowledge. The art of puppetry and everything related to it just aren't hip with the kids anymore. I mean, come on. Goddamn Thunderbirds TV reboot is done in CGI as opposed to...
The beam is inches from your neck.
Oh my god, I actually get that one. Oh. Do you see that? That's really scary. What'll help me really hammer this point home, though? What's the first thing that springs to people's minds when they hear the word puppet? No, not you.
Oh.
Okay, I got it. The Muppets. There we go. Perfect. The Muppets have been around for God knows how long now, with multiple theatrical films and television appearances under their belt. They're pop culture icons, and many members of its eclectic cast have cemented themselves amongst the most recognizable characters in the world. They're pretty much untouchable. Or so I thought. You see, what's popular, acceptable, or trendy in the eyes of the zeitgeist can change at a moment's notice, and unfortunately, my Muppet Boys are yet another casualty of that. Need any proof of that? Let's take a look at the box office figures for the original Muppet movie, titled, The Muppet Movie. Real creative there, Jim. And the franchise's most recent entry, Muppets Most Wanted. Most Wanted pulled in about $80.4 million on a $51 million budget, presumably not including marketing costs. That means it either barely made a profit or lost money for Disney if the widely accepted double the budget theory for promotional costs holds true here. Now that's just bad. It is bad. Distributor Dave Hollis is even cited as calling these figures disappointing, and when an executive or crew member has to speak out on box office numbers, that is not a good sign. I'm looking at you, Solo. Well, how about the Muppet movie? How much did that make?
Oh. Can I do this one? Please? Can I please?
I mean, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so the Muppet movie made about $76.6 million. That's pretty good. On an $8 million budget at that. Wow.
Hey, what happens when you adjust that intake for inflation?
Alright, let me see. So, adjusted for inflation, it goes up to, whoa! Oh, wow! $265.7 million. Holy shit. Huh, yeah, so, guess puppets are popular, huh? Puppets make money, huh? Yeah, fuck you, racist. Suck my fucking progressive Muppet dick, yeah.
No, the literal opposite of that. I would say this only further proves my point. The gap between the Muppet movie and Muppets Most Wanted is 35 years. Compare 265 million in today's money to 80 million in today's money. That is a huge drop. And then there's the Muppet sitcom reboot on ABC. It was aimed at older audiences who might be more nostalgic for the property, seeing as how the kids don't care, clearly. But guess what? Canned after one season. Disappointing ratings, middling reviews, and a general lack of buzz killed it dead. Okay, I might have steered a bit off course with all this Muppet talk, so let me try to rein it back in. If a pop culture juggernaut like the Muppets can fall off like that, a newer property like Mr. Meaty doesn't stand a chance of surviving on a mainstream network. Emphasis on mainstream, though. Because look at the success of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. The Absurdist web series had 6 episodes posted to YouTube over the course of 5 years, which is pretty impressive considering the gaps in between each release. And over those 5 years, it continued to perform well too, which muddies the conversation even more. But then again, those videos are a pretty niche thing when compared to the Muppets, so maybe not. So yeah, this one is pretty simple. Unfortunately, kids just aren't digging puppets anymore.
Racist little bastards.
Friends meet to eat meat.
Now, this one probably won't be interesting to most of you, so I'm just going to try to blast through it as quickly as I can, okay? Okay. During Mr. Meaty's brief 20-episode run, there were a few lapses between episodes being released. The first took place between episodes 10 and 11. Not only was it 4 months before episode 11 premiered, but it had moved to Nicktoons, Nick's sister network, in that time frame. Now, I don't have the Nielsen ratings for that or anything, and they're pretty hard to come across on the internet, at least where I looked, so I can only assume it's due to disappointing ratings. But it gets worse. Fans of the show had to wait more than a year until season 2, from March of 2007 to December of 2008. If that isn't enough to kill a kid's interest, and mind you, kids have very short attention spans, I don't know what is. The show ended its run on May 23rd, 2009, with episodes 19 and 20, closing out the series. But get this, between episode 18 and the final 2, 4 months had passed. 4 months. What else? What else do I need to say? What else do I need to say if it is not obvious already? What else do I need to say if it is not obvious to you already? So that's the story of Mr. Meaty, an unpopular medium, inconsistent airings, off-putting content, and questionable quality pretty much sealed the show's fate before the pilot ever aired.
Wow, that's actually pretty well spoken, FD. When you put things like that, it actually makes sense. And here I was thinking that it was just casual racism, but no. Gee, don't I feel dumb?
As you should. Well, I gotta get to work on the next 2 cents news, so I'll see y'all next time. That includes you too, Reg. You goddamn purple puppet Nick.
Ha, so, haha. Guess puppets are popular, huh? Yeah, fuck you, racism. Suck my fucking, suck my.
Open your mouth and catch my drift. And by catch my drift, I mean suck my dick. Pretend my dick's a big ice cream cone.